They thought you were just holding back pleasure. But what if you were actually unlocking power? Spirit warriors. Let me ask you this. Have you ever felt like the world didn't understand why you were different? Like you were fighting an invisible battle, alone, with urges no one warned you had a purpose? Well, chosen ones, let me take you back to a moment, a real story. A man once stood at the edge of a cliff in complete silence. Not physically, but spiritually. After years of wasting his energy chasing empty highs, one day, he stopped. He looked at himself and asked, "What am I doing with the sacred force inside of me?" That question led him to a vow. A vow to withhold his essence, not because he was afraid, but because he knew. It was the key to accessing a higher frequency, a new reality. And that man, dear spirit warriors, was a chosen one, just like you. This video is your guide, because this journey you're on, it's not random. It's not some fad or lifestyle trend. It's a sacred path, one only a few dare to walk, one that demands discipline, sacrifice, and most of all, spiritual awareness. As the ancient proverb goes, control of the seed leads to control of the self. Control of the self leads to control of the universe. You're not just retaining semen, you're retaining divine power. You're ascending. And with that comes 7 undeniable, unshakable, spine-tingling cycles that every chosen one must pass through. Each one more intense, more enlightening, and yes, more rewarding than the last. Now this ain't gonna be your average sit and nod video. We're getting real. We're gonna laugh a little, get deep, crack open some spiritual truths, and expose the universal mysteries behind why semen retention transforms mere men into spiritual warriors. If you're serious about elevating your vibration, aligning with your purpose, and activating your God-given frequency, then watch till the end. Because by the time we reach cycle 7, something inside of you, something powerful, will awaken. And trust me, once it's awake, it ain't going back to sleep. So buckle up, chosen ones. You've entered sacred territory. Let's dive into the 7 cycles of semen retention every chosen one goes through to attain high-frequency energy. Cycle 1, the awakening urge. Every chosen one starts here, the awakening urge. Every chosen one begins at a crossroad, a moment so quiet yet so seismic it shifts the very foundation of who you thought you were. It's not glamorous, it's not loud, it's internal. Something inside you snaps. You're exhausted from the cycle, the guilt after giving in, the shame that lingers like smoke after a fire, and that haunting emptiness that follows what was supposed to be satisfaction. You begin to realize that these aren't just fleeting emotions, they're signals, each one whispering, something is wrong here. You've been leaking energy, not just physically, but spiritually. Every relapse leaves you feeling robbed, not by someone else, but by a version of yourself you're ready to bury. Here's what makes this stage so powerful. It's not about getting everything right. It's not about never being tempted again. It's about finally seeing that your sexual energy, the most concentrated form of life force within you, is not just a hormonal reaction. It's not just instinct. It's your spiritual currency. It fuels your creativity, your confidence, your clarity. And the enemy of your purpose knows that. That's why temptation always shows up right when you're on the edge of a breakthrough. The distractions, they're not random, they're strategic. You might feel conflicted in this first stage. One part of you is still drawn to the old ways, to quick pleasures, to old patterns, to the numbing habits that kept you pacified. And yet something deep inside you, something ancient, sacred, and true, starts to whisper, "I was made for more." That whisper is not weakness, it's a summoning. It's your higher self calling you out of the pit and into purpose. And guess what? You're absolutely right. You were made for more. You're not crazy. You're not overthinking. You're awakening. The urge to rise isn't just a feeling. It's your soul knocking at the door of your destiny, demanding entry. This moment, it's sacred. It's the beginning of your ascension. You don't have to be perfect, just aware. Because once you see the game, you stop playing it. This is your start, and it's only going up from here. Cycle 2, the battle of the flesh. Oof! Here's where the real test begins, spirit warriors. This is the stage where the battlefield shifts inward. Your body craves the familiar, those quick dopamine hits, the easy pleasures, the instant gratifications. It wants the scroll, the snack, the snooze button. It's not because you're weak. It's because your body is hardwired to seek comfort and survival. But here's the kicker. You're not here just to survive. You're here to awaken, to rise, to choose purpose over fleeting pleasure. This moment is a sacred tug-of-war between the old self and the emerging you. You'll feel like two people living in one body, one pulling toward growth, discipline, and divine calling, and the other whispering, just this once. Go back to what's easy. And honestly, you might stumble. You might give in. And that's okay. Even the holiest of warriors trip. Even Jesus, the most spiritually attuned man to walk the earth, fasted in the wilderness for 40 days and was tempted. If the Son of God had to wrestle with the flesh, don't beat yourself up for facing the same. This stage isn't about being perfect. It's about learning to pause, to feel the pull, acknowledge it, and still choose to stay on your path. That moment of choosing, not today, temptation, builds something more powerful than willpower. It builds spiritual muscle. You begin to master the art of self-talk, to whisper prayers instead of giving in, to remind yourself that what you're building is eternal, not momentary. Science backs it up too. Dopamine isn't evil. It's part of your reward system. But when you retrain your brain through delayed gratification, you actually rewire your neural pathways to crave what's good for you long term. That's neuroplasticity, your brain learning to follow the new you. So yes, spirit warrior, it will hurt. It will confuse you. It will make you question why you ever started. But on the other side is clarity, control, and true spiritual strength. This isn't just a test, it's a transformation. Oh, and seriously, drink some water. Temptation is dehydrating. Stay hydrated, stay holy. Let the wilderness purify you. You're not just fighting urges, you're birthing a new version of you. And that, my friend, is sacred work. Cycle 3, the energy surge. Boom! You blink and everything's different. You're up before the sun. Not because you have to, but because your mind's clearer, your spirit lighter. It's not caffeine and it's not a new workout plan. It's alignment. People notice it before you do. You walk into a room and suddenly eyes are following you, not because of what you're wearing, but because your energy is loud, without saying a word. Your aura, glowing like it just got a full reset at a divine spa retreat with celestial approval. What's really happening here? Scientifically speaking, your nervous system is recalibrating. When you prioritize sleep, nutrition, spiritual alignment, and emotional clarity, your parasympathetic system, the rest and restore part of your body, kicks in. Stress hormones like cortisol drop, testosterone and dopamine rise. Confidence builds not from ego, but from physiological and emotional synergy. This isn't magic. It's biology responding to inner peace and self-respect. You're becoming magnetic because your internal compass is finally pointing north, and everything in your life begins aligning with that frequency. This shift isn't just physical either, it's spiritual. Your thoughts get quieter but more powerful. Your instincts sharpen. You stop seeking validation because now you are the validation. And that walk, that chosen one strut, it's not arrogance, it's assurance. The world senses you've tapped into something real, something rare, and they can't look away. But here's the plot twist. This power isn't a trophy, it's a tool. That radiant energy isn't just for you to admire in the mirror. It's for building something greater, a vision, a mission, a legacy. The universe doesn't give you that glow-up just to flex on your ex or silence the doubters. It gives it to you so you can serve, to help, to lead, to create something sacred in a world hungry for authenticity. So don't get cocky, get focused. The energy pulsing through you right now is divine currency. Spend it wisely. Your elevation is not just for your benefit, it's a responsibility. When you rise, rise with purpose. The universe is watching and it's waiting to see what you'll do next. Cycle 4, the isolation phase. Ah yes, the lonely land. It sneaks up on you, not like a storm, but like a quiet fog that makes you pause and question everything. One day you realize you're not laughing at the same jokes, not answering the same calls, not chasing the same validation. You start pulling away, almost instinctively. Old habits feel heavy. Certain friendships start to feel more like obligations than connections. And here's the plot twist. People notice. Not because you're shouting your transformation from rooftops, but because your energy starts to shift. And when your spirit evolves, it unsettles those who were comfortable with your dysfunction. Some folks only liked you when you were exhausted, confused, and easy to control. When your boundaries were bendable and your light was dimmed, you were easier to love. But now that you're grounded, glowing, and God-conscious, they're uncomfortable. Your newfound clarity feels like confrontation to them. Your peace disrupts their chaos, and suddenly your presence is too much. But don't take it personal, take it spiritual. This is what many call the wilderness season, a divine pruning, not a punishment. It's sacred. It's where God does his best work. It's where distractions fall away, and the signal between your soul and the spirit becomes crystal clear. Remember, Moses wasn't handed the 10 Commandments at a dinner party. He met God in the solitude of Mount Sinai. David didn't write psalms of strength in the palace. He penned them in the echo of a lonely cave, hunted and hiding. These weren't moments of defeat. They were divine setups. You, right now, are walking that same sacred terrain. You're not being abandoned. You're being aligned. The lonely land doesn't mean you're lost. It means you're being located by purpose. It's where your character is carved, where your discernment sharpens, and where your connection to God deepens. This stage is uncomfortable but transformational. It peels away what's fake, reveals who's real, and prepares you for what's next. So don't rush it, don't numb it, lean in, because the very solitude that feels like isolation today will be the soil for your spiritual authority tomorrow. The lonely land is not the end, it's the beginning of something holy. Stay the course. You're not alone, you're just being set apart. Cycle 5, the divine downloads. Here's where things get beautifully weird and deeply divine. After all the purging, the heartbreak, the inner work, the solitude, and the strange nudges to detach from the noise of the world, something mystical begins to happen. You start receiving insights out of nowhere, ideas, downloads, even premonitions that seem to come from thin air. But they're not random. They're not coincidences. You've become spiritually Wi-Fi enabled, tapped in, tuned in, like a divine router picking up frequencies others can't even detect. These messages don't always come in grand gestures. They arrive softly, subtly, in dreams that feel more real than waking life. In the rustle of leaves or the sudden appearance of a specific animal crossing your path. In a stranger's words that answer a question you never spoke out loud. The Creator begins to speak in symbols, synchronicities, whispers woven into your environment. Why? Because now you're finally ready. You've cleaned your inner vessel, your heart, your mind, your spirit, enough to carry divine instruction without distortion. It's like spiritual algorithms start unlocking around you. You begin writing with more clarity, speaking with more conviction, sensing truths before they unfold, and you're no longer afraid to say things that others shy away from. That's the power of being chosen. That's the realm of revelation. It's not about ego, it's about alignment. You're not making noise for attention. You're delivering messages from a higher source. And something wild happens next. You start attracting other chosen ones, other spiritually awakened souls who've also gone through the fire and emerged reborn. The conversations become deeper. The energy exchange is more electric. You feel seen, not just emotionally, but spiritually. You're in the zone where souls recognize each other beyond the limits of time, race, or background. These connections aren't random either. They're orchestrated, part of a supernatural plan you couldn't have designed yourself. This moment, this chapter, is your supernatural invitation to destiny. You're not just here to live, you're here to carry light, awaken others, and walk in divine timing. So treat this new cycle with reverence. Don't rush it, don't doubt it. You've entered the realm where your purpose starts speaking louder than your pain, and where your obedience becomes the key to transformation. Stay open, stay listening. The divine has more to say. Cycle 6, the magnetic manifestation. Everything you were chasing before, the money, the love, the validation, the peace, it's now chasing you. But here's the twist. It's not magic. It's not luck. And no, you're not casting spells in the basement. It's alignment. It's discipline. It's God moving in your life when you finally stepped out of the chaos and into your calling. You stopped chasing, and started becoming. That's when the game flipped. You see, energy doesn't lie. You can't fake true transformation. You don't have to scream your worth anymore. Your aura already made the announcement when you walked in. People feel it. It's magnetic. It's that, I don't know what it is about them, but I want to be around them vibe. That's what happens when you put in the real work, inner work, spiritual discipline, mental clarity, emotional intelligence, and yes, even semen retention for the fellas who know the power of keeping their creative life force energy refined and focused. There's science behind that too. Studies show that abstaining for even a short period increases testosterone levels, sharpens the mind, and boosts willpower. You're literally radiating a higher frequency. At this stage, your thoughts begin to manifest faster. It's not a coincidence, it's quantum alignment. Your mind, emotions, and actions are no longer fighting each other. They're working in unison, sending clear signals to the universe. That's why what used to take years is now showing up in weeks. Your words? They're not just opinions anymore, they're blueprints. Speak wisely, because your mouth holds construction paper for your future. That's why righteousness matters. That's why staying close to God, staying humble, and protecting your mind and spirit is vital. People will look at you with awe. Some will assume you're into witchcraft or that you sold your soul. Nope, you just stopped selling yourself short. You trusted God, tightened your habits, and got laser-focused. You became what you used to idolize, and now people idolize you. Not because you asked for their attention, but because you became undeniable. So stay on this path. The version of you who once begged for attention is now commanding it in silence. This is the power of divine alignment, self-discipline, and becoming everything God already knew you could be. Cycle 7. The God frequency. We've arrived. And no, this isn't some fleeting feel-good moment. This is frequency, not just a phase. You're not vibing on survival anymore. You're resonating with intention, with alignment, with purpose. You've synchronized with Source, and it shows. That old shame? It's dissolved like mist in morning sunlight. Your identity is no longer shaped by others' projections or your past missteps. It's grounded in divine truth. You're no longer searching for validation because you've finally remembered who you are. This is transformation on a cellular level. You don't crave what you used to, attention, approval, external success. Now you create from a place of inner fullness. You don't chase love, money, or status. You channel wisdom, energy, and purpose. You no longer beg for opportunities. You bless others with the ones you build. This is the reward of walking through every fiery cycle, the heartbreaks, the rejections, the breakdowns that birthed breakthroughs. You've tuned into the God frequency, a term modern mystics use to describe the vibrational alignment with divine consciousness. Neuroscientists might call it a state of gamma-wave coherence, a frequency associated with peak awareness, love, and oneness. But this isn't about ego or spiritual superiority. This is about mission. You're not here to impress others with flash. You're here to impact the world with light. Now, you're a lighthouse. Not because life is perfect, but because you kept your soul lit even in storms. Others still adrift in chaos can now anchor by your glow. That's divine activation. That's spiritual leadership. Congratulations, spirit warrior. You've risen. You've aligned. You're no longer just surviving Earth. You're elevating it. Spirit warriors, chosen ones. Semen retention isn't just about what you don't do. It's about what you allow to live inside of you. Power, purpose, presence, divinity. These 7 cycles, they are rites of passage. Proof that your discipline wasn't in vain. Proof that even in silence, God is molding you. So the next time someone says, "Man, why are you doing all that?" you smile and say, "Because I'm on a mission, a spiritual mission to become who I was always meant to be." Now share this with a fellow chosen one who needs a wake-up call, because together we rise. Stay righteous, stay radiant, stay retained. Until next time, spirit warriors, keep walking in your divine light. Peace.